The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD-Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD-Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD-Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD-Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Elias Stone, a human cleric.
I'm Connor Shenold. I play Sable, a half-elf rogue.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play August E. Graymore, a human fighter.
I'm Kerri Hester, and I play Moxie, a tiefling bard.
And I'm Brooke Bullock, your DM. Please join us as we explore the curse of the Clockwork City. When last we left our heroes, Sable and Moxie had discovered a secret passageway in the back of the fireplace of a mostly empty parlor room. Moxie had been able to identify some leftover beverage bottles, some alcohol that was left there. Meanwhile, August E. Graymore and Dr. Elias Stone are checking out what appears to be a small dormitory of 6 or 7 beds.
We were going to investigate the footlockers or chests at the end of each cot.
Could I do a perception check?
You bet.
17.
They appear to be standard issue, nothing special about them. The one that you're looking at doesn't appear to be locked in any way. You could open it if you wish to.
I will.
Inside, you happen to find purple and gray robes that are stored in there.
Very much like the ones that the guys that we fought.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull those out. How many do I find?
You can go through each one of these if you wish.
Yes.
And in so doing, go ahead and just roll me 1 die 20 for all of them.
Thanks. 13.
Okay, you find a total of 10 silver pieces that are in a couple various pouches across these 6 footlockers, and you also find 6 of these robes.
Let's take these just in case we might need them for disguises. Do I find any of the medallions?
No, you did not find any.
They probably
of
went
the
with the
medallions.
people who yeah. Does it feel like, as I look around, can I do another quick perception check? And I want to do guidance on this one to see if it looks like they left in a hurry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to give myself a little guidance. 10.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
I look around.
Yes.
Are all the beds made properly?
The beds are all made properly, not military precision that August E. Graymore would prefer.
But it does look like they've been recently slept in. It's not like dust on the bed.
Because the kitchen looked like it'd been kind of used.
Exactly,
recently.
the kitchen and the dining room.
So for the footlocker that's closest to me, I'll just kick it open with my boot.
And you dump it over or kick it open. And again, same purple robes and nothing necessarily extra.
I'm going to put the robes in my backpack.
Okay.
And you said there's another door here. I'm going to go listen in on that door. Can I do a perception on that?
Yes, you may.
Where you at, Mike?
There's a
That
doorway
door
on the
there.
opposite side. So you guys came down the T-shaped hallway after the spiders in the lobby, and you came down and you went into this dining kitchen area at the base of the T, and then there was a door that circled back around into this dormitory area. And now, to the east, there is a door at the end of this room.
And I investigated for 17.
All right, you don't hear anything.
Is it locked?
It is not locked. It's got
Okay.
just a very simple latch.
I will open it.
And you find 3 privy holes.
Was the only way into this room that door?
There is another little door at the end of the small hallway in the privy.
So there's another door to the north.
Yes,
Can I listen in on that door?
yes.
For a 22.
You hear voices whispering.
I hear something in the other side of this one.
talking about alcohol as secret paths. Oh, your wisdom tells you. Oh, wait, that's Moxie.
All right, so I open it up and say, oh, and I wave over silently.
Hi, fellas.
What'd y'all find?
So first off, we found some place where some people were sleeping.
The doctor found some clothes.
We've got some cultist robes just in case we need to go into disguise. But as we've been looking around, it looks like this place has been used recently, but everybody's left. So I don't know where they all went to or why, or maybe Greeley told them to skedaddle.
I step out from in front of the fireplace so they can see the ramp that leads down. I think I found where they went.
Excellent. All right. We have explored all this level, basically.
You have gone into every room that you know of, yes. You
Yeah.
didn't find anything.
Okay. So I think that must have been the way they went. I think it's a good find there. So do we want to do what we did before, which is you moving forward and us following behind as quiet as we can?
I think that's probably for the best. We slipping into those robes now or later?
That's up to you. I think maybe we should slip into them now. I'm going to go ahead and put on the robe.
I don't know.
I'm going to certainly take them off if we need to, but this way it's a lot easier to take them off, rip them off if we need to.
Well, I'll put it on. Does it look like me wearing a robe with the bulky armor I have under it?
Pretty much.
It sticks out, it's obvious. Maybe I should just stay in the back.
Okay.
I'll wear the robe, but I'm staying in the back.
Do you want one of the robes?
Yeah, I'll put one on. I've just got like leather armor. It shouldn't be so bulky looking. So we're talking like standard robes, basically kind of like a dress.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll rip like an area that I could reach into for my weapons.
So are these like graduation robe situation?
They're more billowy cloister robes. They are voluminous robes, like choir robes, but without a zipper in front. You like can shimmy down over.
So they're structured more like a tabard, but they are flowy like a graduation robe,
Yes.
but like to the floor.
So we're going to follow you behind,
I'm gonna slip into stealth.
and I'm going to give you guidance.
Okay.
How long has it been since we entered the first bookshelf in the mystery building? More or less than 1 hour is all I need.
Less than 1 hour, yeah.
Okay.
Less
You
than 1
also
hour.
still have Bardic, if you need it. So you can always roll first and then add Bardic later. You're fine. Over 30.
Exactly 30.
Oh my goodness gracious. You slip into the darkness of this ramp that spirals down, and after Sable slips past around the first curve, like it's like the grave in there. There's like no sound whatsoever. And it spirals down really slowly and without much of a grade, but takes a really long, big curve. So maybe you only go down 10 or 15 feet elevation wise, but it's a big, very slight grade on the ramp as it curves around. And as you're coming around the curve, you can see a slightly greenish glow. And go ahead and roll like a perception check if you'd like to listen, or however you might want to find out more about what's going on.
17.
You can hear an occasional spark of electricity, kind of randomly.
I will say I'm going to very consciously do my best to stay within 120 feet of Sable. I want to get him out of message range.
I don't think we're going any further than 30 feet back. That way, if we have to get to him in a regular movement, I think that's just in case something bad happens. But we will also be stealth if you want us to do stealth as well.
That's totally up to you guys.
And you've already used yours, so I'm going to touch you and give you guidance.
So you guys do kind of like the 1001, 1002, and let's say maybe like 6 seconds pass or so, and you decide, okay, he's probably moved 30 feet. Let's go.
Yeah.
7.
I got a 5.
Oh,
I got a 9!
I have to roll with disadvantage.
I win!
As we start to go down this ramp, how do each of you, like, or maybe collectively as a group, how are you loud?
So I think August makes a noise, and then Dr. Stone shushes him, and then I shush Dr. Stone.
So I'll continue to creep ahead.
You can now come around the curve to an open area.
Okay. What do I start to see as I get down here?
So this ramp comes down into a room that's about 30 by 40. It has 2 rows of what look like metal beds. They're half operating table, half morgue slab. And each one is surrounded by some chrome flecked instruments that have some smoky glass canisters next to them and some little tubes that run down toward the bed. There are some flickering lights that are on a couple of the canisters, and you can see overhead these little canisters connect to thicker tubes up overhead and bigger canisters 7-8 feet in the air. One side of the canister has a window in it, kind of a wispy gas that's swirling in there. There's a faint greenish glow to them. And then the canisters all seem to be connected in the ceiling. Each one is being held from the ceiling by a coil that has like a collar around the canister. And as you're standing there, you see a little electrical arc jump from one coil to another randomly.
And these ones are kind of high off the ground, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So they're like a contraption, almost like kind of like a steampunkish IV stand that's by each one, that's connected up to a canister above the bed, and then these canisters are being held to the ceiling and connected to each other by a tube, but they're being held from the ceiling by like a coil that comes down out of the ceiling with a clasp that's around the canister holding it there.
Do I see anybody?
Roll perception as you look around.
A 16.
No, you don't see anyone. So you come down the ramp, there's like these 2 rows of like 6 beds, and as your dark vision, you come down off of seeing the coils in the ceilings that are above the beds there. You also see on the west side of the room, there's like a long workbench, maybe 8 feet long workbench or whatever, and a couple of doors in the wall behind that workbench. And then to the south is a pair of double doors that leads out of this room.
I'm gonna creep over to the workbench.
As you walk over that way, let's roll some initiative. And if you want to, the rest of the party can roll initiative too. So as the party, you come down this ramp following Sable. It's a big, low grade, very slow slope circle. Maybe you only drop down from the level above 10 or 15 feet. But it's a big, big circle and very low grade. As you come around the last curve, you can begin to see just a very faint green light from what's ahead of you. And so we'll pause you guys there. It'll take you a round of movement to catch up and get on in. But Mr. Sable, what did you roll?
16.
Dr. Stone?
12.
18.
I got a 20. What did you get?
I got a 16.
Do you want to swap these?
Yes, please.
Okay.
In my effort of staying in the back, Moxie, do you want my 18?
Okay.
So the hair stands up on the back of your head. So this figure pops up from behind the workbench, clearly dwarven in stature, but has most of their features wrapped in bandages, almost kind of like a mummy. And you can see some of their cheekbones and a little bit of their forearms, and it's gray and shriveled and cracked a little bit. Appears to be female and appears to be in the middle of an aggressive action, but you roll the 20.
So, in the middle of an aggressive action.
That's what it appears to be.
Okay. So, I am going to get up to them and attack.
Alrighty.
And how many of these things are there?
Just one so
one.
far. I am coming around the desk. Maybe there's more. 23 to hit.
Yes.
17 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then I attacked with my rapier, so I'm gonna pull out my dagger and do another attack. That's a natural 20. I can't use my sneak attack again, so it's not that bad. 6.
That appears to have hurt. Moxie, what's your dexterity bonus?
Somewhere in the range of 2. Yes.
You hear the shing of a dagger or something else that otherwise has alerted you that, hey, Sable might be in trouble with his action.
Because we're 30 feet back. So what can I see with my dark vision?
You can basically see this whole room.
Like the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So again, we've got this room that's basically 40 by 30, and the 6 beds / morgue slabs. On the corners of each, there are some type of steampunkish IV attachment that's not connected to anything. The beds are all empty that go up to the ceiling and connect to some type of tube and coil network with occasionally an electric arc jumps between those. You can see that Sable is down at the far end where there's a bench. Behind him are 2 single doors, and to the south or the left as you are looking at the bench is a pair of double doors. Sable is confronting a shorter, broad-shouldered person wrapped kind of mummy style, but also has the classic nurse's accoutrement. It's got like a little bandolier that has all like little potions and vials and stuff on it as well.
Okay, so maybe flammable. Probably shouldn't blow her up that close to Sable. But I can see her. So,
And you're about 25 feet away, 30 feet away?
Did it take us our whole movement this first round to get to this spot?
We will say that you came around the corner as this is happening.
Okay.
So you're there at the entryway to the door.
So I still have full movement.
So you
right
still
now.
have a full movement range.
I'm going to move between these 2 rows of beds toward the south, between the 2 rows of beds. So I've got in front of me a row of beds, workbench. Then on the other side of the workbench is Sable. And I'm going to attempt to, well, I'm going to cast this with whether it hurts her or not. Dissonant Whispers. Wisdom saving throw 14.
8. And what kind of damage does that do?
It's going to do psychic damage.
Psychic damage.
Unfortunately, I rolled kind of bad, so only 8.
You hear this figure go, "Ugh," and kind of flinch, and her eyes dart toward you.
They must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far away from me as it can using the safest route.
And so, they're going to use a reaction back up. They're going to head for that door that's right behind them.
And I'll use my reaction to swipe at them. A 17.
Just misses.
And so they're going through the door?
Yes, it looks like they're going to go
Okay.
in that door. They just have to use the reaction, though, right? It's not a continual thing.
Right.
As she gets her hand on the door, she kind of re-establishes her willpower, and then off of her little bandolier, throws one of those vials. What is Sable's armor class?
16.
And it hits you square in the chest. 12 points of lightning damage. She then decides to step back up, and with her other act rolls a natural 1 as she tries to swing at you with what appears to be basically a meat cleaver, and misses completely, bringing us to, I believe, August with a 16 on his initiative.
Can I dash all the way to there?
I believe that you can.
Yeah, I bust in, I see that Moxie's okay, Sable's in trouble, and I just keep my momentum going until I'm around the slab, come around the workbench, and standing toe-to-toe with this mess of a nurse flanking the creature with Sable. And because we haven't had a short rest, that's about all I can do for now.
And just free action, this creature looks between the 2 of you and cackles and says, "It is time, though. Kerri, why don't you be in charge of fate and roll me percentile dice?"
Okay. 54.
There's a little arc of electricity across the ceiling, but nothing else appears to happen. Dr. Stone, your turn.
So Dr. Stone's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to go over here. 25, 30, actually right there.
Elbow to elbow.
Yeah, next to Moxie, and I had not planned to do anything, so this will be interesting. She's been injured, Toll the Dead. So Wisdom save DC 14.
Ooh, 17 on the die.
There you go, so you are fine. Pass turn.
Alrighty. That brings us back up, I believe, to the top of the round. And Sable.
I'm going to smack her again. 18.
Yes.
Sneak attack. 19.
All right, 19 points of damage. That's brutal.
And then I'll do another dagger attack. I hit with my rapier. Only a 14.
And then 14 is a miss, yeah. At this time, the door to the north on the west wall opens up, and something comes crawling out on the ground, scurrying behind Sable, and roll me a perception check, August E. Graymore and Sable, just to see.
22.
22, very nice.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Both of you can see this door opens up, and 2 disembodied hands come crawling out on the ground, heading toward Sable, and they immediately make a reach. Oh, the first one misses Sable completely. The second one rolled a 19 on the die to grasp onto your ankle to restrain you, and doesn't do any damage at this time.
Gotcha.
That means it is now Moxie's turn.
How's your dex, August?
It's a bonus of 1. I'm a strength roller.
You'll be fine. I'm gonna come stand behind August because you have so neatly arranged everybody in a nice little line for me. And I'm going to use my last level 2 spell slot. I am going to cast Ember Belly. So everybody in that line, that goes 30 feet long, 5 across. Dex save for 14.
23.
That 20.
18 for our weird nurse, 15 for one of the hands, and a 9 for the other.
Okay, so if you succeeded, which is you got above a 14, then you took 8 damage. If you failed, you took 17. And then since I'm right here next to August, I'm gonna just give him a hearty tap on the shoulder, give you Bardic for my bonus action. Pass turn.
That brings us back to our weird nurse, and she is gonna keep her mind on Sable, I believe, and swing again with the meat cleaver with a 15.
Miss.
Alrighty, and then grabs another vial off of her bandolier, but throws it behind her at August with an 18.
Yes.
On the die. 5 points of damage, and it hits you in the chest, and then electrical energy just sparks all over your body for 5 points of damage. Moxie, though, there's a little bit of residual electricity that jumps over and shocks you for 3.
Okay, Hellish Rebuke. So she needs to give me a Dex 14.
Alrighty.
She hurt me.
Oh, 16 on the die.
Okay, so she will still take half.
Okay.
Oh, and I rolled bad! She only takes 2
2 points of damage.
fire damage, yeah.
All right. That brings us to Augustine Graymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a big old swing at this nurse. 18 plus 6.
That's a hit.
5 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'll flip around and try it again with the butt of my, and I rolled a 2.
You miss with the butt because she drops to the floor, sliced open by your glaive. Dr. Stone?
So just healing word, 13 points of healing. That was a bonus action. So we'll do a Toll the Dead on one of the hands.
All right, it's the hand closest to you.
Excellent. Wisdom save, DC 14. Stop saving.
16 on the die.
Pass turn.
Dr. Stone, why don't you roll percentile dice for us? Just be in charge of fate for a moment.
72.
And there's a little arc of electricity across these coils in the ceiling. No big deal. That brings us to the top of the initiative order, and Sable, you've been restrained, which basically means you have some disadvantage now and you can't move.
I'll stab the one on my leg. Disadvantage.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think a 9's not gonna do it.
Nope.
And then I'll try again with my dagger. 2 natural ones.
Oh no! I feel like if it's 2, you should stab yourself in the leg.
You're freaked out by these hands. Really gross.
There you go. And now at the end of your turn, it is squeezing and you take 8 points of damage. It's their turn, and it's going to continue to hang on to you. The other one is going to go ahead and try to grab you as well with a 19 on the die.
Yeah.
And so it latches onto you, and they, in tandem, are going to try and trip you. Alrighty, so rolling with it. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Your natural ones are infectious. Try to give you a good yank your feet out from underneath you. Magically, somehow, whatever leverage these hands have, and it's like No. Moxie, your turn.
Because we were fighting the nurse, I didn't see the hands at the time, and now I see them, and I'm like, gross! Because they are indeed really gross looking. Okay, we're just gonna go with a classic here and just try to firebolt and see how that goes for me. The one on Sable's leg.
Yeah, they're both on
The
him
one
now.
that was on Sable's leg first.
Good call.
Only a 12.
That's a miss. Try not to hurt him. Goes right over its little knuckles.
So then, can I get like around? I know this is kind of like close quarters, because between me and the hands are August and Sable. Can I get to within melee of the hands in 30 feet?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna scooch by here. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. And get over here behind the hands, and then I'm going to say, it's okay, Sable, you can do this, and give Sable my last Bardic. And since I did that, I can try to now punch it.
Would you consider that flanking?
I think we could do one more step and be flanking, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
There you go.
The board's kind of crowded over there. Probably not. 10. I try to punch a giant hand and I miss.
Yep.
Pass turn.
Awesome. Augusty Graymore.
I will move up to Sable. Oh yeah, 24.
That's a hit for sure.
3, and I'll bring the butt of the glaive around.
Yes.
Nat 20. For a grand total of 20 points of damage.
So you obliterate this hand, like slice it in two, like right through the metatarsals. Bringing us to Dr. Stone.
Excellent. So I'm going to go squeeze by Moxie.
Excuse me, pardon me, excuse
And
me.
also do flanking here.
Against the wall, yes, yes.
And I'm going to cast True Strike on my mace as I pull that out. And I'm going to hit it with my mace with advantage for a nat 20. 11 points of radiant damage. I don't know if they are undead, so I don't know if 11 points of radiant does any extra damage, but
They might be vulnerable to radiant damage, and you see it just kind of swell and then fall apart completely, just shatter with the energy of the goddess. Leaving you guys standing here in this weird laboratory morgue room with a couple of completely destroyed, disembodied hands and the dead body of this mummified dwarven woman. What happens next? We'll have to see next week.
Red Dirt D&D Curse of the Clockwork City is Brooke Bullock as our Dungeon Master, Kerri Hester as Moxie, Connor Shenold as Sable, Johnny Payne as August E. Graymore, and I'm Michael Cross as Dr. Elias Stone. Our theme music comes from Ovani Sound. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Jeffrey McBride, Monument Studios, Describe.com, and TabletopAudio.com. Dice for the Red Dirt D&D cast provided by ST Way Gaming. You can find us at reddirtdnd.com. If you are enjoying Red Dirt D&D, make sure to subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/reddirtdnd at whatever giving level works best for you. Join us next time as we discover more secrets in the Clockwork City.